Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Games at Work podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Super Baseball 2020, which came out originally for the Neo Geo in 1991 and then came over to the Super Nintendo in 1993. And I got my good buddy Vern over there. What's going on,
What?
man?
Oh, not much, man. How you doing?
Fantastic, man. It's been a great time. We've been doing a little potty training over here at the house with my daughter, so that's been real fun.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, man. It's been a blast. So what's been going on with you?
Not much, man. My little girl's off at Granny's this week, so
Oh,
I got a
nice.
lot of free time to game.
Oh, that's cool. Good deal,
What you been
man.
playing?
So I just actually beat Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and game was just awesome. The graphics are great. Really enjoyed it. And I also beat Horizon Call of the Mountain on PlayStation 2 VR and or VR 2, and it was excellent. I had played Meta for a little bit back in the day, enjoyed it. Played the Star Wars game on that one, and really liked it. However, this was the first time I'd ever played a full VR game, and it was just excellent. I really liked how you could do the bow and arrow and do like the motion, and it was just insane. I really, really liked it. And
Cool.
currently, I'm playing Gran Turismo 7. I'm really enjoying that as well. The graphics are great, and just a really fun game. It's a great game where you can just progress in. Even if
Hmm.
you get into third place, you can just keep moving forward with the campaign, and I'm all about that right now. So it's
Yeah.
just been really cool. But what have you been playing?
So I just beat a short hike, which is a short indie artsy adventure game. I platinumed it today. Really good game. And then I've been playing a lot of Age of Mythology remake of a Microsoft game from like the early 2000s RTS game. I'm getting back into those, and it's really really fun. And then the last game I've been playing is the Stick of Truth for PS4, the South Park game. So yeah, 3 games is way too many. And after I beat a short hike, I'm just going to stick with my RTS game and then my RPG. But yeah, man, I've been having a good time with those three. So
Sounds good, man. Three games are kind of hard to keep up with. I tried to do that for a little bit and ended up just going back to two because three was just
yeah.
kind of too hard and time consuming, and then I couldn't remember what I was playing or what was going on in the story. So
Yeah,
just
I
had
think
to.
two's good. Maybe like one long and one short, or one RPG and one game where I can play like a YouTube video, in the bag. That's kind of my thinking behind it.
Oh yeah, just take it easy, man. Gaming should
Mhm.
be fun, not stressful, and
That's right.
just be enjoyable. But anyway,
Cool.
so this game. I know I've played it for probably off and on for about 30 years. And I've just really, really love it. And, I know that you and I used to play when we were roommates too, and that was a lot of fun. So, what are, a couple of things that you liked about this game?
So I love, and I've probably said this on this podcast before, but arcade type games, but arcade sports games. Like I'm terrible at sports games, simulation, Madden and NCAA, MLB The Show. I'm terrible at those games. But this game, I love. I love Blitz. I love NBA Jam. And then this is my favorite baseball game of all time. You introduced me to this game. I'd never heard of it on the Super Nintendo. And yeah, me and you had it set up in the living room, and we got into this game and we would play it. But the reason this one is so awesome is you can play as, men, women, and robots. All of them have like strengths and weaknesses. It is hilarious. It is not fair at sometimes. It has a lot of similarities to when I was thinking about this game and when I went back and played it to what is it? A mutant football.
Yeah, yeah,
It has a lot of similarities because you'll probably mention some of the things, but some things I love about the game. I love the stadium design where you can only hit home runs in the back center, like the furthest whatever that center field.
yeah.
Cyber Egg Stadium. I love. I love the character designs. The robots blowing up and stuff is hilarious. I like that you can upgrade your characters. You earn money by like striking people out, catching people, and there's a strategy to this game because like if you jump, you use stamina. If you dive, you use stamina. If you get hit by the ball, it damages your guys. So, and the competition, like between me and you, we really got into this. Uh,
Definitely.
it was intense, and the games are awesome. And towards the end, when all your guys starts blowing up, man, it gets wild. But what about you? What are some things you like about it?
Well, I pretty much agreed with everything that you said. I mean, gosh, upgrades are a cool thing. I liked how when you upgraded them fully, they started to glow. They gave off that
Yeah.
little glow, so you knew that they were updated fully, and you had
Mhm.
a better chance of, hitting a home run with those upgrades, or as a pitcher throwing strikeouts because you could throw the ball really fast. So I
Yeah.
thought that was just really cool. And it, like you said, there's strategy to this game with those upgrades because you have to know when to put those upgrades on the player. Like, when are you going to do this? When do you want to hit a lot of runs? When do you want to strike your opponent out? So,
Mhm.
for being a kind of a crazy arcade game, there was actually some strategy to it and some thinking that had to go on. I also mentioned, the players just hilarious, men, women, robots, the robots blowing up when, they had zero stamina left. And then you had to replace them. You couldn't play them anymore because they would just sit there and do
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And while they're getting low stamina, they would slow down. Their pitching would slow down, their running would slow down, and it's the same with human players. Also, the human pitchers would you could see them kind of like breathing hard, and not having enough stamina to keep going, and they would throw the ball really short, and not run fast. So, getting another strategy to that as well as when you pull these players out, when they're that far gone, or and then you also have a certain amount of players that you could switch out to, especially pitchers. And if you used up all your pitchers, that was it. Like, you had to keep with the last one that you had. So it was just pretty crazy, I thought, and I really liked that aspect of the upgrades and strategy that involved. I liked the fact that the players had the jetpacks, like you said. They could jump up and get fly balls, and then slide on the ground and try to catch a grounder. I thought that was really cool. Um, let's see, what else did they do? Yeah, just pretty crazy. Really enjoyed the tournament that we had as well. I mean, it was just so crazy. We would stay up all night and play this game and just have the greatest time ever. And I remember, yeah, I introduced this game to you, and I could just beat you every time. But then you figured me out, and then I could hardly beat you. And I was like, what the heck, man? Like, what's going on? So you definitely like learned how to play this game really well, and were able to beat me continuously. And maybe now, every now and then I would get a win, but it was just really fun. I really enjoyed playing this game. And I'll go back in a little side note. Like, so I did play this game probably about 30 years ago. My buddy, I would stay with him after school until my dad picked me up, and he had it on Super Nintendo, and I just thought this game was awesome. The music was really cool, and just the total synopsis of the whole thing, super baseball in the future, futuristic. I just thought it was great. So it's just a lot of nostalgia in this game for me, and it was really just special. And then introducing it to you was fun because that I got to relive all that too with you, and it was just really fun. So just really cool game.
Yeah.
But
The only other game that I could even think that comes close to this for me is the Bigs, which we also
oh
played
yeah,
together
hmm
on PS3. There's not many arcade sports games coming out, and but yeah, like so, but like you were saying, like, or I think you were about to say,
yeah,
this game is perfect. So,
yes.
what are some dislikes you have about it?
So as much as I loved Cyber Egg Stadium, where the teams of baseball got together. I think that's kind of in the game's little story where they play all their games. It gets annoying, and I'm on the other end of the spectrum where you said you liked it a lot. I dislike it a lot, and there's a couple of reasons. One, that's the only stadium you can play in. You can't play in any other stadium. All the teams play in that same stadium, and it gets old after a while. I mean, you got to admit, the scenery is not that great. So another thing that I dislike about the stadium is the covered glass that it had. So I guess apparently in 2020, which has already passed, and we still don't have, CyberX Stadium, but
Yeah,
apparently they thought people didn't want to hurt themselves, so they covered the stands with glass. Well, what
yeah.
this does is it keeps the ball in play so that it's fair play still, and you hit it on the stands and it just bounces around. Sometimes for a couple of minutes, it seemed like.
Dude,
So,
when it would do that, it just trickle down, or
yeah,
sometimes get stuck.
dude, we were just screaming. Like if you were on defense, you were just screaming, "Get back on the ground!" Because when the ball got back on the ground, you were finally able to pick it up and throw it at a base. But by that time, it was too late. The offensive player already scored an infield home run, and that's the name of the game. But it was just insane, and it was just crazy. I mean, just totally nuts. And then I'll get to something else like game mechanics. Once again, defense is awful. So there would be a pop fly and it would go up, I remember, and your guy's standing there like this, like catching the ball, and then it would land in front of him, and you couldn't move your player. Like it was just insane. It was stuck there. You couldn't move him, and he would just fall right there. So once again, the offense would just keep rounding the bases, sometimes score a couple of runs.
Yeah.
Just insanely crazy. I think defense was just a disadvantage, really, because of all the stuff I just talked about. I mean, the mechanics just weren't that real, not that great on the defensive perspective, in my opinion. But it just, to me, it kept the game fun, and that's just kind of part of it.
Yeah. And see,
Um,
I think the same thing I wrote. My dislikes were I wrote glitches, and it's similar like MFL. Mutant Football League had so many issues, and when it would happen, like that's the MFL.
yep.
That's Mutant Football, and that's this game. There was one spot that it would trickle down so slow, and yeah, sometimes it would just stay there until somebody hit a grand slam or everybody. It was so frustrating on defense, but it was so funny, or it was awesome when you're on offense and that
Yep.
happened, and you could just laugh. I'd be crying, laughing, running around the bases. Yeah, and you could only hit a home run in that little strip in center field. Everything else would bounce on that dumb glass. And yeah, when your robots would blow up and your guys running like this,
Yeah.
so frustrating. The robot teams are good at first, but man, they go downhill
Oh
quick.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, the Tropical Girls, I think, was one of our favorite teams we
My
used.
favorite team. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And one thing I wish they would do is this needs a modern port. So you texted me before and you said you had it on Switch. Is it on Switch Online?
Yeah, yeah. The Switch Online, I don't think it's multiplayer though, which I wish it was multiplayer because that'd be so much fun if, I could play you on there, but unfortunately I don't
That
think
would
it
be
is.
if that had multiplayer. This was what we could play
Oh
for
yeah.
tournaments.
Oh yeah.
Because this is so entertaining and it'd be so funny. This game is like having your ball get stuck up on the glass is equivalent to get struck by lightning in
Yeah.
MFL. Just random and frustrating.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, it has a lot of frustrating elements on defense, and it's also hard to because you can. Another thing that's frustrating on defense is the batter can almost stand on the plate and make it very difficult to throw strikes. Um, so yeah, offense definitely has a huge advantage in this game,
I agree.
and you're just praying that you can get the three outs quick because you just don't want them to rack up a score on you. And that's another thing that the score, if you're losing by four, you're not out of it
Oh
because
yeah.
this game can turn in an inning for
It
sure.
can. And it did for us. I remember on multiple occasions. Don't get too comfortable with scoring a lot of runs because it can
Mhm.
change in a heartbeat for real.
And then getting
Just
stuck in a pickle. So I downloaded an emulator. I really thought I owned this physically, and today I went and looked for it. I was like, dang, I guess I don't have it. So I downloaded an emulator and played it today, and just those getting stuck between two bases. My God, it is so infuriating the controls, but it
yeah.
is so awesome. And then getting stuck in a pickle, and then sometimes if you're on defense once again and you throw it and the guy's like in between, he'll throw it over their head, and
Yeah.
it is so you're just screaming.
It
But
doesn't have a map. Like to show you where your players are. Like it doesn't show the baseball diamond and where your
What?
defensive players. It doesn't show defensive players
No, no,
yet, I
it
don't
shows
think.
offense though, I think. Yeah,
Hmm
but it does not show defense. You're right. So you would throw it to a base, and it fly,
Some
and then
guys not there. Sometimes they're not there.
yeah, it or it got to be blown up or something. I mean, you just have no idea.
Oh
It's so
man.
crazy. Yeah, and I
Gosh.
noticed in the emulation, when you're glowing like that, it's kind of like on a Super Nintendo. It does, it does correctly, but it's just a bright. It messes up. Emulation
Yeah,
doesn't really work. You can't really tell that they're glowing. It's like,
they're
and
just
it just
bright.
right. Yeah, they're just
Yeah,
bright. It's
that's
not
how it looks on
flashing.
the Switch. When I play it on Switch,
Yeah,
that's how it looks. It's like bright. It's not kind of flashing or pulsating light. It's just kind of a bright kind of light. And then um, I think it was on the so I have the Neo Geo one on my Switch,
mm.
and on defense there's mines. They threw
What?
mines in there. Yeah, in the field. They throw it in the field. So if you
Of
run
course
over a
they do.
mine, your player blows up and you have to replace them. Yeah, so that's the one that I have, and it's insane. And I was just thinking, man, if me and Vern were playing today and it was that, or if we got to play that back then, it would have just been crazy.
Yeah, it's just one more thing against you on defense. My
Exactly. Like
Lord.
they didn't even think it through, like on defense, I guess, or maybe they did, and they just wanted everybody to go crazy. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it was just so much fun.
This game needs a remake. It needs
Uh,
a Mutant Football League treatment. It needs to
yes,
be remade, brought to modern audiences, because I would buy the special super edition of this game. I love this game.
I would
But yeah,
too.
playing against the computer is fun. It's great. But against another human, it just makes it so much better. Gosh, it's so much fun.
Oh yeah. Um, Going back to quirkiness, so I looked up a couple of things about this game which I didn't know because I had never scored 100 points before this game.
100.
But however, the scoreboard doesn't have enough room for three digits. So when you score 100 points, it goes back to one.
So do you
So
lose?
you can lose the game if, say, like it's the ninth inning or whatever, and you're playing
Yeah.
against somebody and they beat you. It's 2-1, and that's the end of the game. Well, you lose because
Wow.
yeah.
That is hilarious.
So I
And
mean, it's
just
just
think about
nuts,
the dude
man.
that figured that out.
Yeah, yeah. I was just like, that is insane. Like I can't even believe that they did that. But I guess I never got to 100 runs, so I don't know. And I really don't even think that I beat the game. Really, like I got pretty far in it, but I don't think I ever beat it. And I've been playing this for like off and on for 30 years or so. So I'm just
Well,
like,
another disadvantage, and it's just because it's an older game, is there's no it's a password system, I
hmm
believe. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so that's passwords are that's a terrible system, but that's why this just needs a modern treatment. It needs
Yeah.
a remake or just port it, to modern systems. This would, gosh, it'd be so much fun. Even with
I'm
the glitches, leave all the crap in there.
oh yeah. Like a remaster or something. Just bring it
Gosh,
back. Like
yeah,
that's the kind of games they need to bring back. Like fun games, you know, that are gonna still be fun to play, at least in my opinion. I mean, this
oh
was
yeah,
just one of my favorite games of all time is this game just for the fact that I had so much fun playing it. I
yeah.
mean, I still
Same
do.
here.
I've got it physically over there and it's just awesome.
Yeah, if we ever do that games trip or that like dudes gaming trip where you're
Yeah,
talking, we're bringing this.
dude, for real.
And
I will bring it. I'm
can you do
bringing it,
two
gonna
players
play
on
it.
the Switch locally?
I don't know. That's a good question. Like, I don't know. I
I'm
just don't think you can play online, as far
hmm.
as I know. But
Yeah, we'll
uh,
have to check that out.
definitely, because that would be fun. That'd be so
Yeah,
fun to bring it back and do a tournament again.
for sure.
Definitely. So, well, anyways, y'all, that's Super Baseball 2020, and we just had a great time, playing this back in the day, and just let us know in the comments if you played it or if you like it or if you like arcade type sports games, and we'll catch you on the next episode. See
Later,
y'all
guys.
later.